Year ago, I reached out and got you on the first podcast. Obviously, that was done on like Skype and shit or Zoom, whatever.
Fucking COVID.
Yeah. Since then, a lot's happened, which we'll get into. But how are you, bro? Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
I know. It's a mission to get here, number one. But obviously, you had a bit of a watch a soccer and still made it, man. Made it.
Try my best.
Yeah.
Minimal sleep.
Yeah.
Watch the Aussies lose this morning, but it happens. It happens to the best of us.
That's all right. How do I pronounce your name? Like not Alex, but like your actual,
my handle.
Yeah.
Okay, Cicciu.
Cicciu. Okay, I don't want to.
So it's an Italian colloquial term. It's got quite a few meanings, right? So if you use it, it can be like Frank. It means the name Frank. Right. But then if you use it,
that's what it means.
But then if you use it colloquially, like it's like friend or bro. And then I'm pretty sure I heard in Maltese it means donkey, like but I'm sort of using it as that colloquial term, like hey bro, like hey Chich, you know what I mean? Because that's how I greet all my mates as well. So it's always just like, hey Chich, what's happening?
Fair enough.
It just sort of stuck.
Yeah. What's been happening, man? There's been a few things happening. I've been seeing you emceeing at events and shit. Tell me a little bit about that, man. How did that come out?
I'm telling you, 2023 scared.
It's a good avenue for you, bro.
2023 scared.
Yeah.
For the both of us. I've been seeing you like in here now, fucking doing things.
Yeah, man.
Both making moves. Nah, but it's good, bro. So like start to finish, I sort of finished my teaching degree now. So moved into that avenue, having a laugh with that. So that's I'm enjoying it. Not as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, what got you into it, man? I know you might have touched it a little bit.
Yeah, I touched on it last time. It was just that need to help. It was that need to prevent people from getting to a psychologist. You know what I mean? Not that kids don't go to psychology, but like psychologists. But it was the need of, I'm here for free, and here because I want you to be talking to me because you want to, not because you need to, and all that sort of stuff, you know. But then to move on from there, like you said, I shout out to the Area Collective. It's a mate of mine who, funny enough, I met in Mykonos. I went to Europe this year for the first time ever. Never travelled over, never seen over the water. You know what I mean? So it was
that the first time you travelled?
First time. Damn. Like I've always been to Melbourne or Queensland.
But not bad. Not a bad place to go. First time.
Right, it was dumb. It was fucking dumb. I don't even want to talk about Ibiza, but It was good. I met him in Mykonos. Knew of him beforehand, but we become really close. And then he said to me, he goes, "Fuck, bro, my MC's pulled out. I think he had an engagement that night or something like that. That's another scary thing, bro. We're getting to the age where I'm we're getting older. Like my mate's getting married.
All my mates having kids now, including myself, bro. So
that's scary, bro. That's scary. But he messaged me and goes, bro, like I need an MC. And I'm like, fuck, I've never done something like this before. But that's the avenue I want to go. Not so much the party life, but you know, to be on stage.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on it. What is the concept of that the whole emceeing the event? Like, talk a little bit about like what your role is and what are some of those advantages of that? Because when I saw it, I was like, yo, this is funny enough. Even though it's a concept, it's actually, you see it a lot more now where you're seeing a lot of artists. I mean, me being a hip hop fan, I know that they take like guys like Michael Blackson and all these guys to, guys that do similar like, comedic stuff online and etc. right? Like jokes, etc. But they're kind of at events, it's almost like it's their gig kind of thing, but it's like an opening, you know what I mean?
So it actually did take an opening. I've got another gig 25th of January doing the same thing inside of a club.
So like to people you don't know, like these people
these people I don't know, they seen it and it sort of got through. But so what happened was I'm like, bro, like I felt pressure in that sense because I think if it was on a stage just me talking my shit, I'd feel a lot more comfortable with it. But I'm sure you've been to a party where the MC is just like, shut up. Yeah. You're saying the dumbest shit up there. Shut up. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to sit up there and go and like hype it up. And everyone's like, bro, who is this? Like, shut up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that wasn't necessarily my job. So because it was like a techno sort of event, there's no background lyrics to like mimic or anything like that. So what my job was to do was I came on at 10 o'clock. Right, so it started at like 6 or 7, whatever it was. I started at 10 o'clock, and that's when it was supposed to be like the beginning of the event. You know what I mean? And what I would do is, when DJs sort of go on, they sort of overlap each other. So there's sort of 2 decks up on the stage, and then one's playing on one deck, and while he's setting up, the other one's playing, and then he turns on his music, he hops off, and then goes on a cycle. But what they did was they had me as like an intermission thing, and I'd get up and instead of them just swapping decks, they disconnect while I was talking and then connect up and then let me know when they're done. So in between sets, I had about a minute, 2 minutes to talk shit. And it was the funniest thing ever, bro, because I'm just sitting up there calling everyone degenerates. I'm like, yeah, yous are all fucking fiends. like yous really love being here. Like, it was good.
So was this like, is this now material that you kind of written down for moments like this, or you kind of ad hoc, just on the moment?
Funny, it was so funny. It was like, I was so nervous, like beyond nervous, you know, and I remember getting there at 8:30, and one of my best mates, Buddy, was like to me, like, how you feeling? He's trying to talk me through it, and I'm like, bro, just please, like, I love you, but shut up.
It's a different ball game, eh?
I've never done anything like this, bro. Like, shut up, let me just like think, you know. And he comes backstage with me, and like, he's like a little cameraman, bro. I loved him. He done really well for me. But I've got a video on my phone, and I'm like ready to go up, and I'm waiting for my part. Like, the music was going to cut out, like, boosh, and then I was going to run on. You know? And bro, it was like pre-game. I felt like I was in the tunnel. You know what I mean? I'm ready to run out on a pitch. Like, I was so nervous, bro. And I remember getting there at 8:30, and bro, honestly, I had like in the space of an hour, I had about 8 drinks. I'm like, bro, I need to like soothe myself a bit.
Loosen up a bit.
I'm a very confident person, but the shit that was going through me, bro, I was like, no, I need to vomit,
it's a different ball game, bro. You got a crowd,
bro, so nervous, bro. And then like, I was shaking as well. Everyone was like, bro, you okay? You look fucked. I'm like, bro, just let me concentrate. Like, get out of my face. Let me put my game face on, you know. And then so I ran up on stage, and I was that nervous that the alcohol didn't touch me, bro. I was so I was so sober. Got up there, ran a mark, got back down, and everyone just like, they go, Alex, you fucking killed it, bro. You went nuts. And I was like, what? And then when it all like settled in me, bro, the alcohol slapped me, and I went, okay, no more drinks, like, relax.
The adrenaline would have been pumping, bro. You would have been, on it, man. You would have been just,
It was on another level.
It's big, bro. It's a big, like, it's a, you know, instead of like scaling it to whatever, comparing it to whatever, that's a big moment for yourself, because just huge. Break it down to the fact that you wanted to get into something, you built a concept around it, you started doing it, and now it's like leveling up, going to another level. You know, that's, you know, outside your comfort zone, and when you're outside your comfort zone, it's different, bro, because you're like, fuck, what do I do? You know, bro, what I mean?
Massive. I love being in front of people, bro. That I just knew because there's so much hype on an MC. An MC can really control the night or fuck the night. You know what I mean? And I was like, nah, like, if I go to do a comedy show one day, bro, and it's not funny, like, it is what it is. Like, you can go to a comedy show thinking, okay, like, it might be funny, it might not. But an MC is supposed to run the night. Like, they're supposed to keep the energy running. So I was like, bro, there's so much, like, if it dies out, like, I've killed the whole show.
So throughout the night, was there multiple times that you had to?
The DJ would play for about an hour. And then I'd run up on stage again, jam up, talk a bit of shit, you know, have a little bit of a laugh, and then invite the next DJ on. You know? And it was a massive tribute to Nick Skitz. I don't know if you know who Nick Skitz is.
Talk a bit about it.
But veteran, absolute veteran. He's in his 50s, I think. Really well-known DJ across Australia. And it was such a privilege getting him on stage, because he used to actually mix with my uncle making music back in the day, like, you know, and they used to
like what genre? Is there a particular genre?
Just
like
techno, bro.
Techno.
Like just shy of hardstyle, more than house. And it was such a privilege to do so, because I remember just growing up and getting all these DVDs and CDs and shit.
See, the old man and shit.
It was nuts. It was nuts. So. Yeah, really big privilege on that, and just so grateful for the event. Like, I remember messaging the guy who runs Eric Collective, Daniel Tonic, and he was like, bro, you killed it. I'm like, no, like, thank you. Like, that took so many big steps. And I was texting Ibi, what's his last name? Ibi, he done the shows in Melbourne. He sold out a couple, like, little arenas. He does comedy skits. And I messaged him the other day and said, how'd you get onto it and that? And basically the same sort of shit. He never did the MC shit, but he just sort of jumped into it. He goes, bro, you just got to...
That is the only way, bro. That's the only way,
Right. And funny enough, I'm actually planning next year to do my first ever comedy skit.
Oh, yeah?
I'm already writing down content.
Shit.
Bro.
It was inevitable, bro. I was waiting.
It's
I was waiting.
It's coming.
I'll be honest with you, bro. When I saw you, like, when I first, like, got put onto you and however way, you know, fucking IG, how that works. You see shit, you like, and even then, bro, without looking at followers or anything like that, like I knew the concept. I knew it felt genuine. It felt real to you. It wasn't something that, you know, like that I felt like you were trying to sell. You know what I mean? It was something that I could tell that you love doing, you know, 100%. and eventually, as I've seen that growth, man, like these things are inevitable. Like when I saw that gig thing, I thought that's fucking perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's nothing substantial in time, but it's enough for you to wet your feet and just know, you know, and you know, like be in front of a big crowd. Like, you know, it's like, bro, it's like me doing what I do with combats, with boxing and stuff. You know, I had my professional day. I lost in September, but it was just like being in the crowd. It's a different atmosphere. You know what I mean?
There was like 700-800
it doesn't matter what you do. Yeah.
There was about 700-800 people there, and I remember going through the night, and after the first one was fucked, bro. I felt like passing out. I was so nervous, but I was like, no, you just gotta. It comes points in your life, and it's like flight. What's that saying? Flight or
flight? Fight or flight.
You know what I mean? Fight or flight. You know, like, and it got to that point.
Yeah.
But after that first one, when I got back up on stage and just kept coming back on it, but it got so much easier. And I got up there, bro, and I just showed my charisma, and I'm like.
It's like anything, right, bro? Like you kick a soccer ball long enough every day for weeks on end, months on end, years on end. You're gonna find, you know. And it's not like even about the end game. That's the way I look at what I'm doing. Like I don't know what the ending. Like I mean, I can emulate what I want to see in what I'm trying to do, but like you don't know what the ending's gonna be in the day. All you can do is just keep hustling little by little, bro. You know what I mean? And you just got to look at where you were. Like I've been in this for like 2 years, you know what I mean? Everything that I'm trying to, just 2 years, but people don't realize 2 years is very small in time. Like you got to be committed to this, whether it's 5, 6 years, you know what I mean? Before something could happen, and then something could just happen. You never know. Like, you know, you just got to look at, like you were saying, like being in this room, and you know, and I was telling you how it was one of my goals last year to take my podcast out to locations. You know, same thing
by the way. That's hectic.
Yeah, you know, like it's same thing with you. You know what I mean? This next step, and then now you got people hitting you up for gigs. You know what I mean? That is way more than where the fuck you were when you probably started. You know what I mean?
That's funny that you say that, because
and that's what's important in this, bro. It's a journey, man. You just appreciate it. Fuck, you don't know what the ending's gonna look like. I don't know what the ending's gonna look like. You know, it could all go to shit, but I know this. This, you know what I mean? Just be happy that you fucking chased it. You know what I mean?
Be grateful. Like it's so funny that you say that everything leads to a certain point. I actually made the final auditions to go on Big Brother 2023 this year.
Nah,
bro.
So you missed out,
bro.
It would have been hectic if you got in there, bro. You would have ran amok for sure.
I actually like emailed one of the executive producers afterwards, and I said, like, thank you for the opportunity, and she turned around and said, Alex, we're going to be in contact. Like, I'm so upset that you didn't make it through.
Yeah, damn. What's the process, bro? Like? What's the vote? Is that like, so people vote, or how does that work?
Okay, so what happened was I get this phone call, right? I'm in the middle of class. I never answer my phone, bro. And I just seen this random number, and I thought, I don't know what possessed me. I just went, hello? She goes, hi, this is Nicole of Big Brother. And I went,
universe, brother, the universe. Yeah.
Are you busy? She goes, I said, no, I'm not busy at all. Got fucking kids in front of me doing that. I'm not busy at all. You know what I mean? And then, we spoke it through. She goes, well, congratulations. I love the sound of your voice and whatnot. She goes, you've made it through the next stage.
So what did you have to do? Just send a video?
No, I didn't. Like I just applied like online at this application. She rang me because it sounded interesting. She rang me. And then she goes, well, this was the first interview. We didn't let you know that it was. You've made it to the second one. We're going to have a Skype call. Okay, sick. When is it? Next Friday. Done. Done the Skype call. Sent it off. They recorded that. And this lady she was from London. Had the biggest laugh. Like she sent it off to the headquarters, and they loved me. They sent me an email. They said, okay, you got to fill out this form. You got to come to the casting point. And it was me and 8 other people in this room, bro. And I hate to say it, you can tell why these people are trying to get on the show. Like it was a bit of a joke, but at the same time, a room full of massive personalities, massive, bro. Like everyone there. So you met everyone? Like no. So it was only 9 people, right? So they do like, I don't know, let's say for argument's sake, I don't know how many times they do it, but they do like 5 in like groups.
Oh, got you.
In my group, there was 9 people, me plus 8.
Yeah.
Anyways, we done the interviews, like we sort of all got to know each other, and then they pull us into this room. They've done our headshots and everything like that. They pull us in this room. And it's so funny, bro. Like, I actually died. Anyways, we go to do these challenges, and I won both challenges by a long shot. By a long shot. It was funny as fuck, right? So, so the challenge was you had to pick a partner, right? And I got this girl, and you had to pick up a balloon. You had to blow up the balloon, pick it up from the floor without using your hands, elbows, like anything from here to here you couldn't use, right? And you had to run it across the room and run it back, right? And first one back wins, right? And they didn't give you time to think about it. They go, okay, ready, set, go. And everyone's like, what the fuck? So then I've kicked this balloon up in the air, and I've grabbed the girl by her shirt, and I've like waited for the balloon to float down. I pulled her to me, and it got stuck in between our chests. I said, now fucking run. And we ran across the room, touched the wall, ran back, and we won. And everyone was still figuring out how to get the balloon off the floor, right? And then they go, okay, well, now we're going to do another one, right? You can't use the same strategy. Ready, set, go. And everyone's like, what the fuck? So all these balloons start flying in the air because everyone's starting to use my strategy. I've leant down on my knees, picked it up with my knees, and myself, I left my partner there. I ran it across the room, touched the wall, and I come running back. And we won, right? But I won it by, like, it was so funny, by a really good long shot. And then they've done like this little psychology thing, bro. They're smart the way they do it. They're really smart. They gave us all whiteboards, and we had to hide the whiteboard marker. And they're writing down, they actually, at the start, it was really dicky questions, bro. And it was quite funny, right? Because this one, the Big Brother that they're on, it was a singles one, right? So they're asking us, like, who's the hottest in the room? And, you know, you write down your name of the people, and then they go, okay, 3, 2, 1, show it your answer, and then you got to justify it. You go around the room. My name didn't get mentioned once. They go, who's got the best style? My name didn't get mentioned once. They go, if you were to, if someone was to get murdered and you had to hide the body with someone, who would you pick to hide the body with? Or who do you think would do the murdering?
So everyone obviously knew everyone's name. They had to just pick. Okay.
Oh, everyone had name tags. But and we sort of done like a speed dating test to like get to know everyone, to suss out what it was. And my name never got mentioned, bro. The first fucking like 8 questions never got mentioned, right?
That's what they were looking for.
The last 2 or 3 questions, right? They go, okay, who in this room is the most threatening? 5 out of the remaining 8 put my name down.
No.
And they go, why? And everyone goes, like, he's just so funny, he's nice, like, he's just a really genuine guy. Like, that can be quite dangerous because people would trust him in the room, in the house. So, like, it's a threat. And they go, oh, and he's really good at the challenges. And they go, okay. And then they go, okay, well, who in this room, if they made the final 2, would win it? 7 out of the remaining 8 put my name down.
No.
7. And you know what the last guy said?
This is like a twist in the story,
the
bro.
last guy's biggest, tweets. You know what he wrote? He wrote anyone. He wrote anyone on the board. And then they go, what do you mean anyone? He's like, oh, you know, everyone's just got their talents, man, and I think everyone's capable of winning. And shut up, bro. Like, pick an answer.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Someone had to be the group.
Yeah, like, you had to be that guy.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Fucking diplomatic bloke. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Fuck, took the excitement out of the game, bro.
Yeah, but 7 out of the remaining 8 put my name down, and the executive producer walks in. And I won't say his name. I do remember it, but I won't say his name because I don't want to give too much away, just in case they fucking blow me out the window. And they go, oh, he goes like, why does that's a like a rare sight, you know? Why does everyone think that? And everyone just turns around and goes, Australia would fucking love him.
Yeah,
Australia would absolutely adore him.
Fucking oath they would.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so they're like,
fucking oath they would.
They can't like.
Yeah.
He's just so genuine. He's funny, like, and he's fucking good at the. Like, they couldn't believe that how far I won these challenges.
Yeah. So pretty much, you got fucked for being good in the end,
right? So then they go, okay, they take us to this other room, and they kick 4 people out. I'm in the final 5, and they held another. Bro, that took 2 hours. That whole interview. They kept us back for another 2 hours, doing like a face-to-face interview like this, and they just asked all these questions.
Just fucking add you next time, bro. Fuck all this screening process and shit to figure out who's
and then fucking
right
I waited
candidate.
2 weeks. I'm thinking, I'm going to get on. Like, there's no way they're not. Like,
I think it's worse finding out that you, because you're such a good candidate, that's why you're not going to fucking get chosen, or them all turning on you.
That's
you know
what burned me. Like, I wish I was talking shit.
Smart on them. Fucking hell.
I wish I was talking shit right now, right? Like, they like the whole room. They literally asked me in an interview, like, do you reckon you'd win it? I go, bro, I don't have to tell you that. Like, the whole fucking room said I would. Like, without sounding like a cocky cunt, like, the whole room said I would. Like, so what do you want me to say? I'm going to sit here and boast about it. Like, my hands are tied. The room decided. He's like, okay, cool. And then I get a fucking email in 2 weeks saying, nah, sorry, you didn't make it.
Damn, man. So, like, even from that moment to waiting for the email, you would have fucking had some sense of confidence. I'm gonna fucking get this just based on the fact that I was
on cloud 9. I was on cloud 9. Like, and again, not on a cocky level. It was more on that confidence. Like that whole room, like dictated where I was going to go. And you know, for the producer, I can't help but say, like, that's a bit of a silly move, bro. The whole room said that Australia would love me. You know what I mean? And it's so funny. They full asked me on, like, in that interview as well when it was one-on-one. They go, what do you want to do after Big Brother? And I looked them dead in the face. I go, I bet you've never heard this one before. And they go, no, what is it? I go, I want to be Australia's next Grant Denyer. I want to host Family Feud, bro. Like, I want to be that guy. And they pissed themselves laughing.
I can see you doing that shit,
bro. They pissed themselves laughing. And they were like, really? Like, I swear to God, that's where I want to head. Like, I want my own TV shows, bro. Like, that's the sort of shit I want to see. You know, Australia hasn't got another Grant Denyer. The bloke's getting old. They need a new one. You know what I mean? I'm a great candidate. That's what I think. But then they also said to me, what was it? I've lost my train of thought now. No, I've lost it.
After you said that you wanted to host a Family Feud and...
I've lost it. But like, it was just so eye-opening to get to that point. And that's what you were saying. Like, we spoke at the start of this year, you know, what do we want to do? The little steps we're making. And now we've come together a year later and look how far we've progressed.
100%, man. Bro, that's amazing, man. And like, you know what it is, man? Is end of the day, it's opening those doors and just, you realize, man, like, you know, just that networking, that experience, it leads you to, like, the end game may not be there, like what you're looking for may not be there, but what you get from it, it will open doors in another avenue that you're like, fuck, you didn't even know existed. You know what I mean? Bro, like I always say, just go to the very beginning. I felt like fucking breaking my computer every single time trying to put a podcast together, bro. You know what I mean? Because you realize, especially here, bro, unless you have people that believe in you, you're on your fucking own for a long time, bro, trying to fucking figure everything out before either you hope to get, you know, some sort of investment or people invested in you or whatever it is, you know, but you're on your own. And there's make or break times, man, because you realize I'm using time to do this. I'm spending time to do this. And when shit's not going your way, it's so easy. It's so easy to turn around and be like, fucking, what am I doing this for?
Like,
it's way harder to be like, fuck it, I'm going to keep going. You know what I mean?
100%.
And, you know, and like I said, you just got to fucking smell the fucking roses along the way, man. You know, like sometimes I forget to do that because you're always trying to be better. You're always trying to fucking...
That's right. And
you know
that's
what
what
I mean?
My mate said to me as well. They're like, Alex, like, not only have you, the last 2 years of you creating content have developed you for that audition, right?
I'm glad you touched on that.
Right. They go like, you don't, like, now that you've done the audition, you know what to expect in case they ask you back for a next one or you apply for another one. But, you know, it's the 2 years of meeting people, greeting people, knowing how to hold yourself in public, knowing how, you know, social media works, the algorithms, like every single step that I subconsciously took. When I finished that interview, I went, fuck, that's like, I just had like a revelation. It just all went like, to that
because
point.
everything else that you did to put everything together led you down this road of this happening.
And that's what you're talking about at the beginning, you know.
And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's the things that you know, you just don't see it, bro. You don't see it, like you said, subconsciously. You're just
enjoy
doing
the journey.
Yeah, it's just the consistency. It's the doing it over and over again, whether it's good ends up being bad or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And all these other things that you do in other areas ends up, you know what I mean, paying off in a different way,
big
man.
Time,
So
big time. And that's
fucking
what
happy to hear that,
that's
man.
What you're saying about networking too.
Yeah.
I remember, like, now I've got the email to Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking massive.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people don't see that. Like, I remember Andrew Tate he done a video. And it was on
it's a good segue.
There was a guy who was taking photos of these like famous cars, like Bugattis and all sorts of stuff. And then he went up to Andrew Tate and he goes, oh, listen, like, I took a photo of your car, I'll give it to you for free. What's your email? So he wrote down the email and gave it to him. And he goes, wait, why did you do that? Like, why don't you can just airdrop it to me or some shit? And he's like, yeah, but now I've got famous people's emails. Like, I'm networking now. And Andrew Tate went, well, and he offered him a job from it. He goes, bro, that's fucking smart. He goes, you want to get in that avenue? He goes, I'll take you there. Like, and that's the type of shit, like, being in those environments can help you push, but you got to, it's finding those environments that's difficult. And that's like you said before, you know, you're butting your head against a brick wall. Eventually the brick wall's going to break.
Man. And it's going to take time. Like, you know, it's funny enough, like, me and my old man, we don't, you know, we have time, we have, you know, a father-son conversation, and happened to be last night, we're just chilling and whatever. And that's why I told him, like, you know, he hustled from, you know, from our home country to get here, and, you know, he's kind of like a businessman. He's got that mind, you know what I mean? But
I love that.
But it's that sacrifice as well. Like, it's like, you know, sometimes seeing that, I know back at home, he built so much, and you give it all up. You know what I mean? And for me,
a hopeful second chance.
Yeah, and you know, and sometimes it's like
that could have shot him in the foot.
I grew up like seeing him, you know, like even with whatever work and whatever he does, I know there's so much more to what he has to offer to life, you know. But that's a big sacrifice, because when we're back at home, fuck yo, bro, you almost inherit a lot of the stuff that your parents build for you because you're home. You know what I mean? Whereas you come to a foreign country, you got to start from the bottom again. That's how I look at this, man. I was like, either I can keep going, work, whatever, you know, follow the same avenue, or actually use the sacrifice that was made and whatever comes out. And I was telling him like my plan, you know, and I said, the one thing I know with what I'm doing, you got to be married for it for the long run. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It might not happen next year. It might not happen in a couple of years. But like something that Jay-Z said in one of the interviews, like, you only got to be right once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you only got to, you know, and sometimes it might take years of work for that one big moment. But you're not going to get that one big moment if you didn't put the years of work.
That's right.
And you know, and I stopped worrying about, will this happen? It's more just fucking enjoy it. This is the whole thing, watching your growth, talking about it, you know what I mean? And like, I never started this concept of podcast was like, it wasn't something like, oh, it's a money grab, or because, you know, Joe Rogan does it or whatever. Nah. What I did learn from it was, man, everyone's got a story and everyone's got something to fucking say that if you listen, you can just take something away. Yeah. And that was the concept that started me doing this, you know. Obviously I had a lot of fighters and stuff like that, being from that, you know, like that training with them. Yeah, and training with them and stuff. But eventually like having this conversation with you and everything was always part of the plan, because I was like, I
remember you saying you wanted to expose
and even comedy. Like, I've reached out to so many comedians and people, you know what I mean, and try to get them on, because it wanted everybody, you know what I mean, because I was like, you can always get some little gem from him, you know what I mean, from 100%. Their journey, or you start to realize, bro, we're going through the same fucking shit, bro, you know what I mean, saying,
you know, like, you're the smartest if you're the dumbest in the room. If you're constantly in a room that you feel dumb, you're in a good fucking place, bro, because you're...
The growth is going to be, amazing. 100%, bro. I agree with you, 100%, you know? So, talking about Andrew Tate, talking about Jordan Peterson, I know we touched on this, but...
this video's going to get deleted after it gets posted.
Yeah, bro.
Just mentioning those names.
I actually interviewed the... you know, Romeo Georges, he talks a lot about the COVID stuff and on Insta. So
these are the old bloke.
Yeah, the old bloke. Yeah. So I had him on ages ago. Like, I'm talking the beginning of the pandemic, pretty much, right? Oh. And he went.
How are these mics functioning, bro? He would have fucking.
He went off, right? Yeah. He went off. He did like more than like for me. For me, it was huge because it did like over 1,000 views, right? And like, you know, I scale it to where I think I am to where I'm going, you know, but. Not that mattered. I had him on, and just the other day, YouTube messaged me saying they're taking the video down because they believe it's like false information about COVID and it's public health orders and you can't go get it. Because you were talking about being cancelled, I was like, fuck, bro, I'm gonna tell this story. No one knows. Yeah, but yeah, man, like I've obviously, you know, like I think a lot of the mindset, a lot of the concept, even, you know. Something that you brought up earlier that I wanted to touch on because you're a teacher, which is interesting because obviously saw a video of Jordan Peterson talking a lot about boys dropping out of school and just the whole idea of that, you know, not endangered species in the sense of being murdered, although, you know, being murdered, but like in the sense of just that intelligence and our role in society and men's role in society. He talks a lot about that, but even in schools he's talking about a lot of like boys, just their mentality is like, I'm not smart. I don't know how much of it is true, because not because he's lying or you know, it's more just I haven't read too much about like that. But what's your take on that? Because he does talk a lot about that. Like, do you see the concept of like even just men in school, like, you know, the boys that go throughout school, like they constantly like not really thinking beyond high school, like career wise, and what I mean from
bro,
it.
Massive. And I actually gave advice to a student the other day about this, and it was it's actually scary that no one knows their place anymore. Like, I remember when I was in year 7, bro, we used to punch on over the handball courts, right? With other year 7ers. But if a year 9 kid, bro, I remember a year 9 kid would walk into the court, grab your ball, flog it outside the school, kick it over the fence and go, oh, you got no ball. And know your place, bro. I'm sorry, man. And walk off. Do your thing. Go find another game to play. That's their court now, right? No one, and it's not, that's not this toxic man. It's know your place. Know your place. Like, pick your battles. Like, I'm not going to go punch on with someone that's 6 times the size of me. You know what I mean? Like, a year 12 kid comes up to me and pulls me to the ground from grabbing my bag. And, yeah, okay, that's bullying. It's not acceptable. But at the same time, who am I to tell this guy otherwise? You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I see a lot of now. I see a lot of year 7ers pulling the piss out of year 10 kids. And I look at them and I go, like, not condoning violence or anything like that, but, bro, like,
yeah,
tell him to pull his head in. And the year 10, they go, oh, sorry, bro. What? What? Bro, say something to him. Tell him to shut his mouth. Like,
yeah.
Who does he think he is? You know, and that whole respect your elders. Bro, you're a year 7er talking to a year 10 person like that.
That concept alone, bro, is a fucking like
it's
not to say, bro, demean yourself or fucking let someone bully. You know what I mean? And respect them. No, it's like, bro, that's how you know, yeah, man. They're
definitely hold your own. Yeah, definitely hold your own. Yeah. But that's right. They're seniors to you, bro.
Yeah. Have a bit of respect.
Don't sit there and heckle someone who can easily.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Put you inside a bin.
That shit would have never happened when I was in high school, bro.
Take you out to the skip bin, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't talk your rubbish.
No way.
Know where you can use this. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's another powerful tool that Jordan Peterson says. Like, I went to his talk last night.
Yeah, how was it, man? Yeah, bro. I was bummed to find out.
I was bummed to
find out that he was here. It's not till he did that interview with ABC or you know, that was a fucking dope interview till I realized that he was here. Yeah.
Well, he touched on it last night. Yeah. Someone asked him a question on what do you think of Kanye West, and he goes,
wants to talk to him. Yeah.
Right, and he goes, mate, absolute genius in his niche.
Yeah.
Like, do not he goes. He thinks because of who he is that he can go into other avenues and try and use the same genius he uses in his lyrics, his intelligence in his lyrics everywhere else. It doesn't work like that. Like, at that point, because he's in an environment where no one's telling him otherwise, and no one's telling him, hey, bro, like, that was shit. No one's putting a reality check on him. He thinks he can do what he wants. And for that, he's perceived as an idiot. But actually, he's quite intelligent. He's overcome by his own creativity that he thinks, and status that he thinks he can go wherever he wants, right? Which, I mean, you're that big, you can, okay? But in saying that, you want to keep it pure. You want to keep it smart to what you know. Right, same thing for these year 7ers, bro. Like, that's fine. Do your thing. Be good at what you do, but don't go stepping on other people's shoes. Like, it's a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like you said, back to that. It was, there's that. You know, no one knows their place anymore. In a positive and healthy way, and no one. Like you said, I was talking to a student, and she goes to me. She goes like, I said to her, I said, what do you want to do when you finish? She's in year 10. She goes, I don't know, I've got work experience soon, I don't really like it, like, I'm going to childcare, I don't think that's me. And I looked at her, so you, childcare, like, I know the student quite well, and I said, that ain't you, like, that's not your avenue. And it's so funny, because do you ever talk and then realise what you're saying and go, fuck, I should listen to myself from time to time?
Yeah, no, 100%, yeah.
Right? So
always better at giving the advice, bro.
Yeah. Monkey, hold on, not monkey, say monkey do. What's, do as I say, not what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was so funny, because I was saying to her, like, when I remember when I used to look after foster and orphan kids, I was leaving every shift, even if it was a shit day with a kid, bro. Yeah. I was leaving every shift with either a smile on my face or tears in my eyes, because I knew I had taken something from that kid and learnt to hold it for my own, and I taught the kid something, and I pushed the kid to, you know, overcome some sort of barrier. Like,
which is what you did it for, bro. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now that I'm into teaching, don't get me wrong, being in the classroom is amazing. I love it. And guiding the kids, it's everything I wanted to do. But everything else, bro, fucking sucks. Like, I understand why there's a teacher shortage, and I understand. It's actually sad that the work that we got to go through to do what we wanted to do, like, just to teach. Like, we are a teacher, not an admin worker. You know what I mean? And that's what shits me about the job. And I finish the job now, and it could be fucking 4 or 5 weeks before I get satisfaction out of the work. But by the time that 4 or 5 weeks is up, bro, I'm not enjoying it as I thought I would. I'm liking it, but I'm not enjoying it as I thought I would. And my advice to her was to go and do something that's rewarding for you. Finish every day with something that, you know, and like, I look at the job now compared to what I did before. I'm getting paid a shit ton more than I was than I was before, right now. So I'm like, bro, I can tell you now from my experiences, money ain't shit. And I'm not saying I'm rolling in it because I'm definitely not. But I miss my old job. I miss my old job because it just had so much more value and so much more reward. It's not funny. You know what I mean? And just like this for you, I remember you saying from your last time that you've been wanting to do this since you were like my age.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22, yeah, fucking earth. Literally, bro. Like, everything I'm doing now, I thought about it then, bro. Like, to a point, you know, like, I felt like we weren't even there yet to where we are right now towards what we're building. We haven't fucking earth, bro. Like, I remember, bro, it all started because we were cleaning up my room, we were moving houses, and my wife goes, what's this? And she sees like the business registration paper and she sees Mercenary Entertainment. She goes, what is this? And then I explained to her, like, I had this dream. What's
Mercenary, by the way?
I just came up with that. Like,
okay.
There's a deep layer to everything, obviously.
It's into the deep, isn't it?
It is called Into the Deep, yeah, obviously. But again, yeah, there you go. That's all you needed to know. But like, you know, obviously the term mercenaries, bro, they're like basically people that fight a privatized war that you basically paid it, you know? And the concept I looked at it is, well, in some way we all do what is best for us. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, you know, like mercenaries, like soldiers, you know, you pay them in a privatized war to fight for you, right? So it's basically for personal gain, right? They do it for personal gain. So I was like, well,
that is deep.
Yeah. So I was like, we all do things for personal gain, but it doesn't mean we're bad. Like, but so you should, you know, yeah, exactly.
Do something for yourself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yes, your family's there. Yes, your friends are there. Yes, you've got your dog, your cat, whatever you've got it, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you go to sleep with yourself. You wake up with yourself. You live with yourself. You think with yourself. You do with yourself. It's yourself.
Yeah.
If you can't learn, and a lot of people,
and it's not that you won't help others. It's that if you don't have a good projection of yourself out into the world, then nothing else matters, bro. Like nothing else matters. Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's what Jordan Peterson was talking about last night, bro. It was about love, and it was about whether it was yourself, whether it was with your friends, whether it was find love, because that's the purpose of life. That's what he said. He said literally, whatever you do, you need to match it with someone, and he's doing all this. I'm into it, bro.
He's a G, bro. He's a G. Like, he's a true proper G, bro. Right. Yeah.
And he's saying, he's like, bro, you know, when kids play games, like John Piaget, I think it was him that he mentioned, was a psychologist, and he'd done a study on kids, and when kids would play games, you know, he lined them up with a kid that was really good at basketball and a kid that had never played basketball in his life. And the kid that could play basketball, bro, crushed him, smashed him out of the park, right? But then they went, no, this is boring. But then they matched it up with a kid that was a little bit better than him. And he strived, or she strived. He gave it like a theoretical story, right?
Yeah.
And when they won, they felt such more of a grant of gratitude. It wasn't
because they had to work for it.
Because they worked for it, and it was successful. They could see the vision, right?
Yeah.
So he was saying, if we do things in our reward through the love of what we've got, whether it's for ourselves, whether it's from other people, whatever it is, we will strive to succeed. So if you're loving what you're doing, and you can see the goal every day, like I was saying, getting that reward every day, you're gonna keep at it, bro.
Especially when you don't see it. You know, there's weeks or whatever, like when things aren't moving, because you know, once things moving, you want it to keep moving, right? Yeah. Ultimately, that's what you want. Like, I'm not here saying, and then like, I want this to be my passion. I want this to be my I want this to be my life. I want to wake up every morning hustling for this. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, right now, that's not the case. But it doesn't mean it won't be. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Keep chipping away. You know what I mean? But you know, man, you gotta. I feel like the satisfaction it's different, bro. You know, it's a different feeling, like, and you can really understand, like, and you only got to listen to, and that's the whole idea, bro. Is that you only got to listen to a lot of successful people, and the steps to get there, you realize, man, like, they're very similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if you don't find success in your lane, that whole experience is gonna open doors that, fuck, man, you wouldn't even see it unless you went down that lane. You know what I mean?
Like even stumbling across being a foster carer, you know? Yeah. Like, I went from working at Kmart. I was that dickhead on the front door checking your receipt, bro. Like, I was that guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Going, oh, you didn't scan that. Like,
I reckon you'll do such a better job right now, bro, with what you know and what you've done.
Good, yeah, it was so funny.
You'd be so much more better now.
Kmart was my most favorite job ever. Like, I reckon, don't go to McDonald's, bro. Go to Kmart.
Yeah.
Like, the stories I've got for a first job, go to Kmart, bro. Honestly, Camo's going to hit me up for ads now. Yeah, but I remember that being my first job. And then my mum is a hairdresser. So she had a client who was an assistant principal at a primary school that had a support unit, and they needed SLSOs, like teacher's aides.
Yeah.
So I went, yeah, all right, I'll do it. It was only for a term. They had a position open for a term. So I went. I was like 19, bro. And there was only 7 kids in the class. These kids were like, bro, the shit they used to like. 10-year-old kids telling you they're going to literally stab you. Like, they were cooked, right? But in saying that, only because of trauma and their mental disadvantages and disabilities, that it caused them for that. And they're shit parents, right? But in saying that again, it taught me a lot, changed my life, that job. But that's where I fell into foster care, because this one kid, it wasn't even in my class. He was only allowed to spend 2 hours of the day at school because it was safer for everyone else for him not to be there. Yeah. That's how much his kid used to get up. He used to throw chairs through windows, bro, stab kids with pencils. Like, he was cooked, bro. He was cooked. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, he'd look through the classroom window and he just liked to look at me. Just liked to look at me. So then it became like a behavioural thing to work him through the 6 hours of the day. And the teacher said, if you behave for an hour and a half, you can spend the last half an hour with Alex. You know, and he would strive to work for that. And like, we keep coming back to that common goal of have short-term increments for a large-term goal.
Yeah, 100%. Right?
100%. And something visual, something visual that you can see and reach. You know, you don't want to put a goal in front of you. Like, it's Jordan. I'm pretty sure Jordan Peterson says it. If it's a goal that's too far and out of your reach, it's not a goal, it's a dream.
Yeah.
Right? But a goal you can reach. So you need to, like, we put little goals in front of this kid. By the time it was done, he was spending full days at school, behaving for the whole time, and spending the whole day with me. Then they were sending psychiatrists at school saying, how are you getting through this kid? Like, he's been at our program for 8 years now.
Which is crazy in itself, right? A psychologist asking you this.
Yeah,
bro.
and I'm not even like, you know, and they go, how are you getting through to this kid? And I'm like, well, just treat him, because of his trauma and that, he was so mature. And it's really sad how mature he was. Treat him like an adult, let him talk, let him get what he needs out, and reason with him. Don't tell him, reason with him. Give him options to realize that if you do this, this is what's going to happen. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. Which one do you think do you want to take? Right? And that, again, laid the little goals out in front of him. But this kid went from bashing teachers to spending full days at school, not doing anything. And then the company just rang me and they go, look, we know you're not qualified, but for the sake of this kid and for the sake of the company and whatever else you're doing, do you want a job?
Nice.
So then I literally stumbled across that. It wasn't even a goal of mine. I didn't even know the job existed.
Yeah.
But I was working with this kid for the next 2 years, and then I adopted him for 8 months.
No way.
Took him in my home, bro. What? It's crazy. And then he's living in Perth doing his thing.
Nice, bro. Good on you,
because his grandmother rang him, and when you like the actual biological family ring and say, listen, I want the kid, they go, you can't, you got to put your hands up. But lived with me for 8 months, bro, and it was 2 years, 8 months down the track, and like, that's the avenue I went through.
That's amazing, bro.
And
I'm
that
glad
job
you said that story. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's, again, back into relation of finding those short-term goals for a long-term finish.
Yeah.
And where you want to go and making it achievable.
It's just a crazy time at the moment, man. Like, it's
everyone's got a billion ideas, bro.
Me and my cousin the other day we went to get coffee in the morning. We had a long chat, and like, it's just a crazy fucking time in the world, just with everything, with just a mix of everything from social media to just like even everything that happened in Qatar with everything saturated. Like, it's just like everyone's just fucking losing their marbles, bro. And it's like, we need to fucking taper back a little bit, man. And like, everything's just like, we were talking about it, it's just overdone, bro. Overdone. Like, any issue, it's just all of it, and like overdoing it. You know what I mean? It's like, but even like, just like, take, you know, like LGBT, you know, like, and like, I got mates, right, like, that are gay and stuff, and like, I don't even give a fuck, bro. No, like, but it's like, it's the agenda getting pushed that it's almost like you're like, why are we still, bro? It's been around for hundreds and hundreds of people have been gay for like hundreds and thousands of 200, 500,000 years, bro.
And
like,
not,
you know,
not
millions of years
treatment that they call.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what's got better is that the treatment of it. You know what I mean?
But
or you'd like to think so
now.
anyway. Yeah,
you've got what you wanted now.
Yeah,
relax.
It's like, you know, but sometimes I think it's more than the people. It's just agenda. It's just
Yeah, it could be.
You know what it is, man? It's like even having the phone, like, you know, it's like the show Black Mirror, right? The name of the show being Black Mirror is the phone, right? And that's why a lot of the episodes and whatever is around technology and just, you know, what it does to humanity, right? And bro, like,
I've never seen that show, so tell me about it. What is it?
Oh, bro, like, you're gonna go through
head fuck.
Head fuck layers, bro. Like layers. And anyone that's watched Black Mirror will fucking tell you that. Will tell you that layers and layers and layers of thoughts. Like, holy fuck. Like, it's basically shows you the dark times that can come with technology. Like crazy concepts. Like I can rate you. Like you're living in a society where I can get on the phone and depending on how you treat me or whatever, and if you get to a certain bar or whatever, you get excluded from like crazy shit.
Like Uber.
Like crazy level.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like steroids, bro, on just what, like, yeah, but the whole concept of like just, you know, technology and humanity. And it's a crazy story that I keep saying, but when I left one of my jobs, it was too older. Like, you know, I'm one of those guys. I got a lot of like older mates too, like senior guys. You know what I mean? Like they always say, I'm like an old soul. You know what I mean? So, but when I was talking to them about like just like social media and technology, forget about just technology, right? Just being connected. And I said, you know, back in you guys' days when you're growing up, when you wanted to become like a mechanic, or if you wanted to become like a landscape or whatever it is, right? And you finally reach that goal, the happiness was just crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like
to work hard. Like
to work hard and to like
mad dog.
And to like, you know, back then, like the concept of being a mechanic or whatever it was, right? Like that's all now, bro, like whatever you do in life, whatever you are, if you don't have a good mind state about how you live your life every day, you start to compare yourself to everything else, right? And you value what you do sometimes less than, because you always comparing yourself, or you're seeing like, oh man, this ain't successful looks like this.
There's a saying,
but I said you never had
is the killer of all imagination or some shit like that.
And like I was telling them,
or
like
creativity, something like that.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's true. 100%. Like, and I was telling him, like, when you know, at that generation, like you felt like you were living life. It's the same concept, like, bro, we're downloading so much, even in the couple of minutes we're looking at our phone. And like, we're just downloading so much, like fucking everything's going on in the world and we're just fucking downloading it. Whereas we used to live among our world, our, you know, friends, and like the world is a big place, but you're so used to living it with the people, you know, the world that you see, you know, based on your lifestyle or what every day is like for you, whether it's work, you know, whatever it is, right? Yeah. Like right now, it's just so much downloading in one go. Like, I just personally believe we're not meant to be downloading so much fucking information into ourselves at like one go, just like looking at the phone, saying, you know what I mean? Like more actually just living your life, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Looking at shit like that, like a resource. Again, I keep referring back to Jordan Peterson because he fucking,
depending on what you use it for, of course, yeah, what you're using it for, yeah. We know so much more, right? But it's you going looking for something that's of interest to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take Instagram, for example. People actually go to pages to talk shit, bro.
Yeah.
Think about it. Why don't you go find content?
So negative, bro? Why are you like?
Why don't you go find content that you like and follow that content, and shit you don't like, whatever?
Don't.
You know what I mean, bro? It's like as easy as that. But people
but no, you wake up in the morning and you went, nah, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna protest and I'm gonna go do this. Like, you're in your bed at night after you just finished having a fucking wank because that's who you are, right? 3 a.m. in the morning, you had nothing better to do with your life than to comment on someone's shit and blow them up for what? For what?
Like, you're always going to get females, critics, bro. Right?
Especially females. I've got so many female friends that post content and shit, and you look through their comments. I went on a live with one of my friends, Gracie, and people were just nailing her, bro. And she was just sitting on the live. Like, what does that bring you, bro? Why are you such a scumbag?
That's what I'm saying. So it's like even like, for example, right? Like, you know, take footy, for example, the rugby league or whatever. I was telling my cousin the other day, we're talking about, I'm like, you know, there was a time before this that if we wanted to have a conversation about it, if we wanted to argue about something, it was always within a group of people that you had that interest with, right? Like, so you talk shit with your mates about, you know, footy,
and no one heard otherwise.
Yeah, but now it's like someone, you know, user 1246 with no fucking profile pic will say something that triggers you, and it's like, you know what I mean? And it's like everyone just arguing with everyone. But bro, you don't even know who this person is. Who gives a fuck? Go talk to people that you actually watch footy with and have that conversation with them. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to get at, bro, is that we're so detached from just that hunter and gatherers mentality of how we were as people.
We're detached from positivity,
bro. You know
we're
what I mean?
detached from positivity, and that's what Jordan was
just
speaking
how
about
we
last night.
Communicate.
There was a study shown, and it was like people were asked how much money would it take for you to be given. Sorry, how much would it take? How much money would it take for you to just hand up your phone for the rest of your life and not ever see it again? And like there was a girl next to me and she was like $0. I'm like, well, throw your phone off the fucking throw it then. Throw it off the building and never see it again if it's $0. Like people don't understand that. Then this is what I want to look at. And people have such a negative mindset is because like you go into those sort of avenues like a phone, bro. And I couldn't give up my phone.
Yeah.
I couldn't. No way. No way. There's no amount of money you could pay because the amount of resources
100%.
I can find on that thing
to
push me where I want to go and what I want to do with my life and use it in a positive way. Bro, you're not taking my phone.
The amount of shit I've learned off YouTube even,
you're
bro.
You're not taking Google off me. You're not taking nothing. I'm
Google,
using that phone
Google
for
knows
my
everything.
benefit,
I always say that, bro. Google knows everything.
I'm using that phone for my benefit, bro. But people want to use it to go talk shit.
Yeah, it's all on how you use. Yeah, man. Like 100%, I agree. Like that's the crazy thing, right? Because you think about like just even like we'll talk about networking, just communicate with each other, right? Communicating with each other. The shit you learn, man. And it's like, you know, I know everyone says, oh, that's the life, that's the world. But bro, like sometimes I'm not the smartest person in the fucking world. I don't plan to be and I'm not striving to be. But it's such a basic fucking way to level yourself up through just communicating and talking and networking with different people. Nice and you can realize, yeah, man. And it's like, and it just shows you how strong and how hard it is to think that way. And like, I think a lot of my battles, like why it took me so long to get here was because, bro, you are around a crowd that may not think the way you're thinking. And and for me, that's what I tell people, like the lessons I learned that I try to make sure that they don't go through is that, man, whatever you want in this fucking world, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be hard. It's going to be stressful. You're going to lose sleep over it. But if it didn't mean something to you, then it wouldn't feel like that, man. You know what I mean? Anything that you really want, you got to just marry to the idea. It's going to be fucking hard.
Straight up.
But it'll be fucking worth it. It's not impossible, just hard.
That's right.
But hard is not impossible, you know? It's not a scary, oh, it's hard. Nah, fucking anything you do, you know what I mean? That you really put your mind to, you're trying to get better at, is going to have difficulties along the way. It doesn't mean you can't do it. You know what I mean? But it's just that lost concept, man, of just like, and something that I'm very mindful of now, you know what I mean? Having a son now and like, and everything is just that nature, bro. Like we were playing in the park, it's in the grass and just, you know what I mean? It's just that lost concept of just us communicating, you know what I mean?
And if he falls over and hurts himself, bro, it's
so be it.
Let's go.
Yeah. 100%.
It's not, oh my God, you know, sheltering, bro.
Yeah.
Sheltering is not going to help. Sheltering's not going to help nothing. Let people get exposed to this stuff so they can see. Yeah. So they can open their eyes. And if they can't open their eyes, bro, like, I'm sorry, you're an NPC. Like, you're done. You're done. Like, if you can't open your eyes to what's actually going on, and it's not this whole term of like being aware of like the ins and outs and reading between the lines. No, it's not that. It's just, it takes so much more effort to be angry and negative than it does just to be positive.
Positive, yeah.
So if you get knocked down, like playing basketball with your son. Yeah. If I had a son, bro, I'm not letting him win no game. Yeah. I'm going to beat you every single time until you get good enough to beat me. If you can't beat me, bro, that's your problem. Yeah. You know?
I'm laughing because we were watching something last night, my wife and I, and then I said, what? I don't know, we went to the park and there was family and one dad, he was like looking after the kids and they're playing cricket. And I was like, I said something like a remark like, what is it? He's just letting him or making it easy. I said something anyway, and she looks at me. She goes, "What? So you're gonna think your son? Like you're gonna go? No. You're not gonna let your son win?" I'm like, "What? Not that easy, bro." No. I'm like, "You gotta let him work a little." You know what I mean?
I'll beat him 3 times. I'll let him win the 4th game.
I was like, "No way!" I just started laughing and shit. I'm like, "Come on, man." I'm like, "That's without it going so deep into it, but." That's another concept that I've really got to understand about what Jordan Peterson is saying about just the male's role in the family, right? Just that I compare it to like a
mother's love is a gentle touch.
Yeah, ecosystem. Like you take sharks out, it fucks up the whole ecosystem, right? Like that, you know what I mean? And that's the way I look at like even with dads, just their role, for their son. And bro, I'm all for. you know, whatever people want to label themselves as, male, female, fucking non-binary, whatever, you know, you do you know. But I still believe in the concept of what a man's role is in a family, and he talks a lot about it. And even I've seen women that he talks to that, you know, interview him, agree with him. You know what I mean? Because that's becoming a lot. You know, I'm not speaking for everyone, and I'm not here dropping stats or anything. But that importance of that, like, bro,
we spoke about this last time.
Yeah,
where you asked me, you know, is your family on board with what you do?
Yeah,
and I turned around to you and I said, my mum is concerned about the way people perceive me and the way. And my dad he goes, bro, rip in. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You know, a mother's love is just gentle touch. A mother's love is to. If they scrape their neck, oh my God, is it okay? Like, care, bro. Love, care. Like, you learn to love from, you know, your mom teaches you how to love, bro. You know what I mean? And a man needs to show that sturdiness.
And it doesn't mean it's like, oh, fucking, you know, bashing you.
Don't cry. Men don't cry. No, it's not about that. It's about, okay, you've cried, get up now and keep going. There's certain genetics,
bro. We're a man. You could say whatever the fuck you want for millions of years, through genetics, through evolution, from, like, I talk about hunters and gatherers, the roles of men, like, you know what I mean? It's not to say,
and people get offended about a role.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's important. I'm pretty sure if you ask any kid that's grown up with no parents or not a dad, I can tell you right now that their life would not be damaged, but there's a missing piece. You know what I mean?
And they'll all damaged. Yeah, 100%. So damaged. There's studies out there that kids have actually died from a lack of love.
You would know, bro. Bring a teacher, and obviously you were saying, you know, getting psychology and things like that. You would have come across this type of data.
He's damaged. Even the kid I used to look after, he had such a feminine side to him, and that's not a problem. I love my candles. I love being a little bitch sometimes. You know what I mean? I say little bitch as a joke. Before we get cancelled, but
if we didn't get cancelled by now, bro, I think we've done pretty well.
You know, but it's a sense of, he grew up with his mother, and it wasn't. He developed his own hardiness because that was his own mindset, right? But he lacked that whole. When you shake a man's hand, you look him in the eye. And it's not a, it's a handshake, bro. And I don't shake your hand sitting down. I stand up. It's those little details that are getting missed. You know what I mean? And again,
just a role in the family. Like, for me, like, I look at, you know, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Like, bro, like, it's that alpha, like, you know, that alpha fucking lion. Like, it's your family. You protect him. Man's raw. I protect my fucking family, and that's the way I look at it. Every time I walk out of the fucking house, or I'm with them, and I'm like, I'm ready, bro. I'm like, you know, this is my family. Like, I'll fucking die for him. That's how I feel, and that, you know, I shouldn't be forced to think otherwise.
But in this day and age,
and it's not toxic. To turn around, and it's not to turn around and be like, my wife shouldn't be someone great. I push her to be great. She is great. And, you know, she's got her own business now that she's been working on, doing decor and styling, something she's always wanted to do. I've always pushed for it. It's not to say I don't want to see you fucking climb and be great and whatever. And that doesn't, you know, and that's not your role. No, but it's a man's role. There's certain evolutionary, like, DNA
objectives that we need to
were built, that's who we are, bro. That's who the fuck we are. And you know what I mean? And it's just crazy, bro. And we were saying
it's totally fine for people not to have that.
If that's but don't people, come and tell me that I'm somebody or something or someone a shit fucking person because I don't think that way.
A little bit more testosterone than the other bloke.
And it's the whole thing with the Andrew Tate thing. It's just like, end of the day, bro, what happened to the day that, bro, for years back in the days, you know, like growing up in the 90s, everyone had a fucking opinion. I remember hearing so much shit. I was like, oh, fuck, I can't believe they said that or whatever. But end of the day, they had an opinion. Now, bro, fucking hell, like, you actually got people that are willing to go back 10 years and find old videos of fucking people. And it's not to say that, you know, it's different if they're the same people and the same fucking, you know what I mean, and whatever, right? That's different,
they're showing no progress.
Yeah, but if it's someone, you know, if someone's made progress and changed over time, bro, like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that, you know, shouldn't be questioned or whatever. Like, you know, I'm not saying that, but bro, like, to the level that we're going to take someone's opinion, like, there's so much shit I hear that they do allow that I don't fucking like hearing. You know what I mean? Like,
but you know, I don't go comment on the fucking Instagram too, saying,
I have a conversation, bro, about it with people that I fucking trust. I value their relationship.
We do a bit of science, we do a bit of this, bit of that.
But we just sit and talk about it, bro. We're fucking having a drink or whatever, and you talk about shit.
And then you know what? With conversation with other people as well, I've had that conversation with you now. You might have changed my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you might go, bro, no, you didn't look at it this way. Makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And therefore, there's your growth.
Yeah, there's your growth. 100%, man.
Coming back to the common goal of slow goals, bro. We keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of growth. I've developed something, a different train of thought now. I can go to my next one now.
Yeah. It's just a crazy, man. It's just a crazy time. I honestly don't get it, but, you know, maybe I'm not meant to get it, but, you know, maybe I do get it and this is just the world at the moment. But, yeah, man, I just feel like simplicity, bro. Like, you know, it's crazy. At times I just think we're going to fucking just explode, bro. Humanity just going to fucking explode and it's just going to be a reset button. You know what I mean? And I was saying, like, we're going to end up living
Jordan Peterson was talking about that.
We end up living like fucking hunters and gatherers again, bro. We live in little
Noah's
areas.
Ark, man.
Yeah,
I'm going to build a big fucking boat.
Can you imagine? I'm fucking drowning and he goes a big ass boat and throw the fucking lifesaver overboard, bro. Get me, yeah.
I'm picking and choosing at that point.
Yeah, at that point you're going to have to, right? Yeah. At that point, you're gonna have to. That'll be a tough decision, but it's gonna challenge you.
But more than happy
what's important? Like what's gonna fucking last me for however long till I get off this fucking boat?
Straight out.
One of the things that's really funny, bro, is obviously the content that you put out and stuff. But it's funny because you do such a good job at talking about things that everyone's thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just certain things. I look at it, I just laugh, and I'm like, "Fuck, bro! I know exactly what you mean." I mean, obviously, this, you know, whatever material that is that you put out, like, you know, it's something that comes to you, right? Obviously, it's also things that you've experienced in life and you're seeing, you know, but it also shows you how much. Put aside the color of your skin or whatever, you know, the concept that we all bleed the same, that you realize we all think that if we're all built in the same environment, you know what I mean? If we're all like, you know, being in Sydney and dealing with the same things that we do day to day or whatever it is, it doesn't matter where you come from, bro. It doesn't matter what your religion is. You know, there's the beauty of your religion and your culture, but it's that concepts of like everyone's going through the same fucking shit, bro. You know what I mean? Shit. And it's so good to see when I see that, because
I love when I see people that recognize.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And you look at it's so many different, the variety of people, bro, from all different places, all different lives. You know what I mean? All different cultures. But it's funny, we all live in put us in the same environment. We're gonna go through the same fucking dramas, bro. You know what I mean?
Legit.
How's that been like with, you know, obviously, you know, with everything there's haters and whatever, but how's that growth been since like last time we spoke to now, bro?
I thought about it the other day. I'm not even gonna lie. And it come to me because it was quite funny. I was going out. It was on a weekend and I was trying to get into a club, and the second looked at me and he goes, "Oh, you're that guy off TikTok." And I went, "Yeah, man, that's me."
Motherfucking yeah.
No, but see, that's what I thought. I thought I was going down that avenue.
It never turns out good for you, bro.
No, it always does. Very rarely do I get hate. Very rarely, right? Yeah. And he goes to me, he looks at me and he goes, "Nah, I'm off you. Like, I might just kick you out." And I went, "Fuck, what did I do? Like, let's have a chat."
Yeah. No, I meant like you getting into fucking, because the last story about getting into a festival, same thing.
And he pulls me aside and he goes, "Tell me, do you still believe in it? Like all that COVID stuff that I used to rant on about." And I go, "You know what, bro? Takes a man to realize that maybe he was probably wrong." Mm-hmm. I said, "I'm not completely wrong just yet, because no one's actually said you're wrong. Right, but it's hinting that way. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no more. You don't need a COVID pass for international travel. You know, you don't need a COVID jab for jobs anymore. You know what I mean? So, in a sense, yes, I was wrong, and it takes a man to admit that. Yeah. Right. And that's growth, right? But in terms of countering those scenarios where people might not like that they disagree with my content and stuff like that, well, then what I've said is what I've said. Mm. How you interpret is up to you. Like, you know, I'm just doing me, and I like doing me. And it's like I used to chase numbers big time, bro. I used to chase views and chase followers. If I post a video now and it's got 300 views, but one person has saved it, I'll keep it up. I'll keep it up, because that person is going to keep reviewing that video. That's going to make them happy, or it's going to cause a train of thought or something for that person. Cool, bro. Thank you. I'm glad you have given me reward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So
the little things, bro. The little things.
Big time. And especially now the algorithm, especially on TikTok, it's heading towards more business avenues. It used to be a lot more about the creators. Yeah. Now it's heading towards the businesses. Yeah. And creators' views are going through the floor, bro. Fucking absolute shit. I've been struggling lately. You know what I mean? And it's gotten to me that I've gone, you know what? As long as I appeal to some sort of person out there, I don't care anymore. I honestly don't care.
And sometimes, bro, it's not even just about constantly seeing it rise. You know what I mean? Because whatever step you are taking next, which we're going to touch on, which is the skit that you've created, right? Like those, maybe that's the level waiting for you now. Maybe that's the, all right, let's take what I've done, what I'm doing, let's start putting it into a larger scale, you know what I mean? And you wouldn't get to this point where you've basically gone and scripted yourself a whole skit, right? If you didn't go through what you're going through, like some point, like that's what I look at, like when you're stagnant, it's always something bigger or another little level waiting for you.
Why aren't you moving?
Yeah, why aren't you moving? Exactly. Like, you know, and there's always some other avenue or whatever it is, you know, it doesn't necessarily sometimes always have to be a bad thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, talking about that, man, I can't wait. Obviously, I know you're not going to give too much away and stuff, but I think that is what's waiting for you, man. I need more seconds and you know, more minutes on them, you know, and you know, and I think a lot of the stuff that you probably would have done like off the top or thought about the concept in your head, and you know, but it's next level when you get to be creative and sit and just dive into your crazy ass motherfucking mind, and you know what I mean, like you know what I mean, and then get to that level, you know what I mean, like anything in whatever art you're doing, there's levels to this shit, bro. You know what I mean? And
100%.
and I'm sure you're someone that goes and researches and watches videos of other people in your industry, or even just like, you know, certain concepts and whatever that, you know, but for you to like now sit down and really think, like go into your mind about concepts and ideas and go to that level where you get to put it down. It's different, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to, you know, and I think that's probably what was waiting.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's why, you know, I told you it's inevitable that this was going to be next, you know, because, you know, watching others that, you know, like, I know, like, we share similar interests with certain others, like John Bernard and all those guys.
Bro, he's one I've been studying. Bro, he has literally,
I've been trying to reach out and try to get these guys, man. I'm trying to get them on.
I might message him for it, because we talk from time to time.
Yeah. Because I share their stuff and they always like it, and they always, you know, give me a thumbs up.
Nice guy.
Yeah. I know.
Like, his brother Nick,
it's like what you said last year when we met. You're like, bro, I didn't even know what the conversation was like, you as a person, but you know, that's what I'm saying. I know with a lot of these guys, we'll have a good conversation.
Bro,
that when
they're so intelligent. They are so intelligent. So literally, John Bernard has a blue tick next to his name because he has pissed off society in a healthy way, in a positive way. He hasn't gone through TikTok like all these other morons begging on lives and causing drama. He's caused entertainable drama and gotten a blue tick off it, bro. He has gotten his names in articles. The bloke walks around in budgie smugglers now, pissing off, you know, workers and shit, because they're like, bro, what's this guy walking in budgie smugglers into my? But you know what? He's got to deal with budgie smugglers. He's the one producing their content. He's the one in Qatar right now doing interviews, bro. He was one of the first ones ever to bring out interviews, right?
And sponsored as well. Like the company Ames or whatever got behind him, right?
But he's so intelligent. I take my hat off to that bloke. He has worked the system. He pissed off the government.
I saw that.
By reading out COVID numbers before they produced it. And he made it out like he was predicting them. Right?
I remember that.
And that's the type of shit that gets your name into articles and your name out there. And now the bloke's verified. He's taken a piss.
I didn't even know about the COVID thing.
Matrix, bro.
My wife's the one that I showed my wife his sketch, like his little sketches and skits that he does online. So I was like, this guy is fucking hilarious. Like, you know, just like
he's got
watching
really good questions,
I was like, yo, this guy's onto something. Then she goes to me, that's the guy that was reading out the numbers. I was like, what? That's hilarious.
He's fucking smart.
That's fucking hilarious.
You know, the bloke got banned out of Marquee. The Marquee wasn't allowed in the star anymore. He got banned from Coogee Pavilion because of the same shit. Like, that's funny, bro. That's funny. Like, when you are creatively a nuisance, that's funny, bro. That's entertainment, because if someone like us who can recognize the brains behind that, bro, you're smart. I take my hat off to him. He's a fucking smart bloke.
He's doing good, man. And it's so happy to see as well. Like,
100%.
need more.
I love that growth.
Goes back to what I told you about why I wanted to do this and everything, and even the brand. What I'm trying to build at a bigger level is an entertainment platform. You know what I mean? I wanna, like, I believe I can help produce and see good shit out there.
100%.
And I want to bring it all into my vortex to showcase, like, in a way that I can have all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I love I love, like, you know, I was watching stand-up last night. Like, I love that concept, and that's what interests me, and I want to try to do that for Australia. You know what I mean?
Back
you know
to
what
where
I mean?
you were saying before, right? Like, I had a sit down with my mate, and he goes, Alex, like, we need to start making moves here. Like, you know, you've been doing it for 2 years now. Just TikTok and Instagram.
It, man. Having someone around you, having people around you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you're very lucky, bro. You're very lucky.
And a lot of people tell me that, bro.
Yeah, you're very lucky because, bro, I struggle with that. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, I know there's other people out there. But in terms of my circle, like the concept of what I'm doing, like, you know, I ain't gonna lie, and it's not for sympathy. I'm just telling the truth.
No.
It's good value. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I was in the staff room the other day, and I was on the phone with my mate, and we were going through scenarios of what had happened to him, and the benefits of going through with it and not going through with it, and his mental health behind it. What are you thinking? Let me know. Let's brainstorm. One of the other teachers heard it, and he comes up to me and he goes, bro, that is so wholesome that you and your mate can talk about what you spoke about on that phone and actually take what each other have to say on board, you know, and listen to each other's advice and help with the mental health of making our decisions and stressing out about it or being upset about it or being happy about it. Like, there's about 4 or 5 of us, and bro, like, I get phone calls. You haven't posted in 3 days. What are you doing? Wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Even if you're not thinking of shit, think of something. Post something. Keep your algorithm running. We motivate each other so hard.
Yeah.
And
you need that, bro. You really do, bro. You need it. Yeah.
And he goes to me, he goes, look, he goes, I know a guy that owns a factory. At the moment, it's clear. He goes, I'm pretty sure he's putting something in it by March or April. He goes, before it's fucking, he's putting shit in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him. He's already asked him. I'm pretty sure I got approved. I can't remember properly, right? But it'll hold about 300-400 people. He goes, we're going to go buy fucking chairs. We're going to put the chairs in the room. Ooh. We're going to build a little stage.
I'll be there,
and you're
going to
hold your sick.
I'll be there, my man.
We're going to hold
I'll be there.
a stand-up show.
Yeah.
Your first stand-up show.
Yeah.
So start writing your
Fuck
shit.
Yeah.
And by February, I want you to have the content done.
Fuck yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know what it is? It's not that it's easy, but it's achievable.
Yeah.
It's achievable.
Yeah.
And bro, you need the right people around you because it takes a fucking team, bro. Even with me doing boxing stuff, I know how much my coaches and some
everyone
of the
talks about the individual grind, but sometimes you do need to push.
The environment, bro. You fucking run in packs, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a reason you run in packs. You know what I mean? And it's finding that. And the hard thing is when you don't have that, it's so easy to deter yourself from wanting to go down that path. But what you got to realize is there's nowhere you're the only person that is thinking that way. Bro. And you know what I mean? And there's always some way of connecting. And that's what I hold on to, is that I believe eventually, like, it's like I know what I purely want to focus on. And I know that I need others to do other things in order to and there's nothing wrong with that. It's having multiple cameras, having people behind it, and me just having to walk in here, sit down with my guest, click on and let's go. You know what I mean? To that level, you know what I mean? Like, so I can focus on how do I produce, how do I do what I'm trying to do, the bigger picture, you know what I mean? 110%. And so it's important having that team. There's and it's even better to have people around you that don't look at it as, oh, I'm not, you know what I mean? Knowing that I have a role, I want to play that role, and I'm part of that success, and it's keeping them and valuing them, knowing that little couple of percentages that they're doing for you is adding to the bigger picture.
And you know what? Your environment is massive, bro. Again, I keep touching back on it because I just fucking love him. Jordan Peterson last night said, and he said it about Kanye, I said it before, if you don't have your mates looking at you going, bro, that was shit. Yeah. Like, I had a mate of mine, I said it on the last video, you know, at the beginning of the year, I had 800,000 people, 800,000 impressions in the last 30 days on my Instagram. 800,000 people have liked, shared, commented something on my account, right? I've only got 9K followers. My mates turned around to me and gone, bro, people are stalking you for a laugh and then pissing you off. You're not captivating enough. Improve. Like, that's the type of shit, the reality checks, bro. The reality checks. People, bro, I go out in public and people boast, you're that guy. And people, it's fucking amazing. Makes my head blow up, right? They tell me how much of a sick cunt I am. But then my mates, I look at them around the corner and they're laughing. Oh, the TikTok guy. It humbles me, bro. It humbles me. And you need that environment. Something that's going to push you. Something that's going to humble you. Something that's going to keep you driving on the days that you don't want to drive. Right? And that's the thing. And that's another thing with schools, bro. And talking about that shelter thing before. Kids are so, because they run the environment, they end up running their environment. Right? So they think they're top dog. But the moment you leave school, you're going to get elbowed. Like, they don't understand that the mates, and I used to be the exact same. I'm not
But
saying
that
it's any different.
that lack
they
of
don't understand. They're not actually your mates, bro.
Yeah,
They're
No.
not actually mates.
You know what
They're here
I
to
tell
make
people
it
about
equal.
school, what I learned, bro? And it's not to diss anyone that met, because I have
No,
a lot
it's
of
not in a
friends that are
negative
still
way.
friends, but it's like putting you in a pond full of fish. That's the pond. You don't go outside that boundary, and basically you're making friends with people that are around you.
Because you have to.
That's you best connected with.
Right.
Then you come out to the real world. Then you have your own dreams and ambitions, and then you realize, holy fuck, how am I the only one that feels this way? It must be something wrong if I feel this way, because no one else feels that way. And then you hold back. And that's why it took me so long to get it started. It doesn't matter in the end. I got it started, but that's what was holding me back. That's what I was struggling with mentally. And to a point, bro, where I was like borderline fucking always depressed and shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, my body was yearning for something, this thing that I believe.
Because you know you've got a better purpose in what you're doing.
Purpose.
But your environment's
That's
not letting
the
you
key
do
word.
it.
Purpose. Yeah.
Your environment's not letting you do it.
And I realized that I can't sometimes change that, but I can change how I project myself to
but
the
you know
world.
what? You can change your environment.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But that
can.
ends up changing your environment. But what I tell people is, don't be afraid of seeing what the reality looks like. And that is that you may not be with certain people. You may not be ending up being in the same circles that you felt like you were married to, because that's just life. That's the world you come from.
You know what I mean? Anxiety, bro. Jordan.
Go back, my man. It's
he's
so good.
So good.
Yeah. We knew this was happening.
Jordan
Don't
Peterson
worry.
spoke about it last night.
Yeah.
Again, he said anxiety is self-driven, because it's either you're anxious about a topic or a situation or a relationship or something like that that you think or perceive is greater than you, so you're scared to do it, or it was too difficult for you to do and you're trying to find ways out of it. So it's something you want to do, but you think it's bigger than you, right? Because you don't have that self-confidence, and it gives you stress or makes you sad or whatever it makes you feel, anxious, whatever it is, and you don't do it, right? And then the opposite, right? So it's like me going on stage for that AC5 event that I held. I was so anxious, bro. I was so anxious. It was fucking scary. But you know what? I knew that that's where I wanted to end up. If I wanted to continue with this, I got to practice, bro. I got to practice. And I knew that my purpose, like I said before, is to, I want to entertain, bro. I want to be Grant Daniel. I swear to God. And to move to that way, I had to face my anxious feelings. Fight or flight.
And I want to show that entertainment, bro. So hopefully one day, bro, one day, baby, all the puzzles will connect, man. Everyone will be happy and get to fucking, that's exactly it, man. It's just exactly what you said. Like, that's what, like, I've always been like, I read books, time to time. I wouldn't say I'm an avid reader, but
I've never finished a book in my life.
But visually, just the creativity, like, it's not to talk myself up, but I've always believed, I see things when I watch certain shows or whatever, like just the layers of it, the creativity
and
behind it.
Talking to the wrong crowd of people, they think you're up yourself. They think you're cocky.
But like,
I'm sitting here saying I'm going to be the next Grant Daniel.
Yeah.
I can guarantee there's going to be people watching this video going, fuck with. You know what, bro? That's where I see myself. That's what I want to do.
It's boring, bro. Otherwise, like you got to have that ambition, And if you do want it, then you got to know.
You're telling me you wake up every morning going, "Fuck, I can't wait to go do my 9 to 5." There's something more in your life that you need to find. Everyone has something. Everyone. I don't give a fuck.
And there's nothing wrong, in doing whatever it is. But man, like I just feel like it's easy for someone to turn around and shit on, and I know it, Brandon. It's people It's people whether you want to admit it or not. It's people but it's okay, because what you got to realize is it's not about them. It's about you. Like, it doesn't matter if anyone believes in you or not. It's fucking irrelevant. Yes, it feels like shit and whatever, but it's also the flip side. There is people that believe in you. It's just, do you look at the negative or do you look at the positive? And the positive might be 20% and negative might be 80%, but that 20% is going to get you closer to your goal than that 80%.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
You. So, and it's about perception and gratitude, and it's about having belief in what you're going to do, not hope. Belief. Hope is weak. It's
it can disappear. It can disappear.
Belief is a lot stronger than having that belief. And we said it before about trying to find small goals to reach big goals. There's subconscious goals too. And like we said, finding this new environment where you're going to strive in, and your friends, not that they're going to blow smoke up your ass and blow all these pixie dust and fairies and tell you what you want to hear.
No.
Right? Yeah. But people that are going to help you grow and changing your environment. No, it's not everyone's goal to change their environment. No one wants to feel uncomfortable like that. But it's a subconscious goal that when you realize what you've done, Oh, you'll be grateful.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God. Every time 100%. I get a phone call with those boys, I'm like, bro, I'm so happy that I called you.
Yeah. It's other aspects for the growth of what you're trying to do, right? Like there's other areas that these people will have so much more to offer than you will, because the knowledge is there or the understanding is different, right? So you got to use it. Yeah, you got to use that. I know that, bro. I know to the scale. Like I'm thinking Australia, like, you know, in the future, like some of the big, you know, like Barstool Sports and all that. Like that's the level I'm thinking for Australia. That's what I'm saying. Like that grand scale, you know.
But what's stopping you from holding a show like Little Big Shots? Like Steve Harvey did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holding a show.
You know what's crazy is saying that when you're talking about Family Feud and all that? Yeah. You know what I thought the concept was? I was going to say to you when you're saying, like, I want to do the shows, Steve Harvey, bro.
Oh, I love him.
The way he's built that brand. Go and watch. There's a podcast called Earn Your Leisure. Yeah, Earn Your Leisure. There's a podcast called Earn Your Leisure, and he's on it.
How good is it?
And bro, like he breaks down his thinking and how he built his brand. And bro, it's crazy. Like this guy has his own shows and he gets a large chunk of the shit because he's built himself the brand that no matter what show he goes on. And that's why when you mention it all, I'm not even shitting you, bro. I thought about Steve Harvey, but I just didn't say it. But I was thinking in my head, Steve Harvey, you know what I mean? And how he built his brand and how he's on all these shows and got his own shows. But it's Steve Harvey that makes that fucking show, bro. You know what I mean?
Take Steve Harvey out of it, bro. It's fucking shit.
You know what I mean? So I completely understand, man. You know, and like that's for me, like when I think of it's that grand scale, like that's what I'm building towards, you know what I mean? I want to be able to be like, you know, in some sort of way, like I said, Barstool Sports, like the Netflix, where the content that I love, that I think people will love, being able to showcase it through, you know, the channel or through the, you know, through media in whatever way, you know what I mean? And be like, put out content that I think people will like, you know what I mean? And finding, and that's how
there's also that saying as well, it's be smart enough to be relatable to the dumb. Or be dumb enough to see what the dumb see. Or some shit like that. I'm not very good at reciting quotes and shit, but I know it's on that topic, right? It's like Kanye, I mean, J. Cole with all their lyrics and like they're intelligent people. So smart. But they've dumbed it down so that 100%. The dumb can listen. If you pitch it too smart, only the smart can listen. Whereas if it's dumbed down, everyone can listen.
And you know what's crazy? Imagine me having to explain everything I explained to you about what I'm trying to do, all the deep layers to someone that, you know what I mean? How do I tell someone that I'm sitting at home for years and this is the type of crazy shit that's going through my mind? They'll be like, bro, what are you fucking...
Ibby, that comedian I told you about before, he done a video and it was literally, he jumped on a podcast recently and he literally said that he sat his mum and dad down who are so old school, Arab type and gone, no, you need to work. And he's gone, I want to be a comedian. They went, is that the joke? Like, is that what you're trying to... No, bro, that's what he sees himself, and look at him now.
It's crazy.
You know, no, he hasn't necessarily made it completely to maybe where he wants to go. No, but he's on his steps. He's blue tick verified. He's sold out shows with 10,000 people.
It's crazy, man.
Good on you.
It's just the consistency. It's through the good and the bad. Just, you know, that listen, bro, we can fucking talk all day about, you know,
Part 2 or
part 3 next year, bro. But who knows? This time, fucking hell, 100%. At some point, we'll have a fucking crowd. We'll actually have a crowd at our podcast. It's gonna happen. Don't worry, bro. It's gonna happen. By then, you're gonna be pulling a crowd. So I'm gonna have to have a situation where I have some seats so they can sit here and listen to us talk shit.
I'm sorry for him.
Nah, bro. Honestly, man, I really appreciate it. Like what people don't see is I reach out to a lot of people, bro. And you know, and to know discredit to them, like you get to a certain level, you're naturally gonna only have time for certain people. You know what I mean? And it's not to say, oh fuck, you know, whatever. You're like,
I'm too good for you.
And you know, and I understand that with, you know, certain people. Like I said, I've always wanted John Bernard because I think it's fucking hilarious.
I'll message him for
you know what I mean? I think he's fucking and. You know, I'm not saying I got into him early, but I believe but I have followed, and even the growth from when I saw him to now, I know, bro. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? But I like to believe I know when I see good shit, and I'm always gonna back myself. That's what I'm driving this. You know what I mean? On because I've always believed there's certain things.
And I thank you because that's a compliment to me too.
100%, bro. When I saw, I was like, fuck, man, like. who would have ever thought a guy could fucking scream in a fucking video and it'll be fucking hilarious?
Yeah.
But it's just that, it's the genuinity, bro. I love it. I know you do it. You don't do it just for fucking for clout. You know what I mean? You do it because you love it, bro. And and it's funny because now people can see from a deeper level. There's layers, bro, with teaching kids and working.
And it's not just me screaming on a phone. Trying to be funny. Like,
there's a whole nother layers,
sort of
and you'd be surprised. So many comedians, some of the most deepest thinkers, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The deepest level of thinkers. So. I really appreciate it, man. Every time I reached out to you, you've always, you made time for me, and I know, bro. I know there's good things waiting for you. However it ends, it's irrelevant. I know, bro. Every time I see it, I can see the growth, and it's so good to see you got shit planned and you're still moving. And you will, man. Once you get to that next point, you're gonna figure out where to go, and I hope at some point. I mean, I know we'll always be connected, through the podcast,
100%.
and but yeah, I'd love to see us. Where we'll be when the time comes, you know what I mean? And I wish you nothing but the best, man, and keep doing your thing, keep doing everything that you're doing, in your personal life with the teaching and working with kids and that whole aspect as well, man. I think that's just as important, you know what I mean? I know we'll link up again, man, and something tells me we're just gonna have way more crazy shit to talk about, man.
I can't wait.
But I appreciate it, man, and I know giving up your time is a big thing, just in general, and I'm glad, bro, we got to do it in person, because when I did hit you up again, I didn't want to do it, I felt like it was time. It was like, fuck, let's link up and let's actually do it in person, and you know what I mean, and I wish you nothing but the best, bro.
You're a sick cunt.
I hope
I love that.
I hope it all plays out the way you got it, man.